Look at the next leadership forum.
Hi, thank you for joining me on another episode of my content on leadership development. Today, I want us to look at 10 fundamental steps that you need to take to have a good, adequate planning process. The fourth step is identifying people and stakeholders. Identifying people and stakeholders is one of the most difficult aspects of leadership development. In fact, some school of thought have it that the ability of a leader to identify and assemble the right team is one of the most critical aspects of success for such leader. So if as a leader you are good in identifying people that you can deploy to achieve your goals and objectives, then it's a powerful tool that you have in terms of skill or in terms of ability to identify the right personnel to achieve the right results. So when you set out your goals and objectives, you need to be able to figure out who are the people that can help in achieving the goals and objectives that you have put forward. Do you need distributors? Do you need suppliers? Do you need vendors? When you complete your product, do you need marketers? This is the stage where you identify the people and the stakeholders that you need in the course of achieving your goals and your objectives. However, the first person to identify at this stage is yourself. In identifying people and stakeholders, many leaders don't know what role to play. And as a result, when they have their team, then you see all kinds of confusion taking place. Because some leaders might eventually begin to interfere into things that they should not interfere. They begin to get themselves overly involved in some certain aspect of the project or the product that they are trying to achieve. So as a leader, the most important person to be identified is yourself. When you identify yourself, you identify what role are you going to play on your project. Are you going to be the project manager or are you going to be the investor? Do you want to be in charge of operations or do you just want everything to be ready so that you can then go and market it yourself? What role do you want to play? Many leaders don't identify themselves at the beginning of their project. So eventually they will be doing everything that others should be doing for them because they've not identified their role to be able to state what exactly are they going to be doing in the course of achieving their goals and their objectives. So you need to know what exactly is your own role before you then go ahead to identify, are you going to be employing people directly yourself or will your organization be employing people? Identifying the right people, it's a very critical aspect of leadership development. The fifth stage is location and timing. Where do you want your project to be sited and when do you want to site it? Which means you identify the location where you actually want your project to be situated. Where is the product going to be produced? Do you want to outsource the production to another country, to another company, to another organization, or to another person? Or do you have all the resources that it takes to produce it in your own factory? So if the location is closer, the time required for the logistic activities will be shorter. If the location is far, the timing might be more. This actually has a lot of cost implication because, for instance, if your intention is to build a house, building a house can mean different things in different locations. What is required to build a house in an urban environment is different from what is required to build a house in a rural environment. If you want to build a factory in a city, what you need is different from when you want to build a factory in a rural area. Then it's important to also allocate time for each unit of activity. So location in terms of where you are siting your project, then time in terms of each unit of activity that will be happening in your production line. How long will it take for the plumber to work? The timing for each unit of activity needs to be defined. How long will it take for you to bake your bread so that you can know how much time you have to deliver the bread to your client? How much time do you need to weld so that you know how much time the welder will need to finish his own aspect of the project? So you need to identify the location, which has to do with where you are siting your project, and the time of each unit of activity for the entire project to be concluded. The sixth step is for you to fix up a time for meetings and procurement. You can meet online. Technology has made it easier these days. There are a whole lot of mobile apps that gives you the ability to meet online. You can use WhatsApp, you can use Zoom, Google Meet, and so on and so forth. So there are several ways you can meet, but you need to meet up. You have to meet up with your vendors, meet up with your engineers, meet up with your team, meet up with your plumber, meet up with your furniture guys. If your goal and objective is to have an event, you need to meet up with your event planning committee. You need to meet up with all the stakeholders that are going to be playing one role or the other for you to achieve your goals and objectives. So when you are meeting up, it's always important to document your activities. Who is saying what? What's the agreement? If you need to have a lawyer in place, you should have a lawyer in place. If you don't need to have a lawyer, then document whatever agreement you have between yourselves. So these are the time that you take note of that, establish and agree on what is practicable. And don't also forget that when you are meeting with your team, you are also allocating resources. As soon as your meeting is concluded, resources are expected to be allocated. Thank you very much for your time. Until I come your way next time, always remember that we rise by helping others. Thank you.